This is the A17 iPad mini, and it is probably the most controversial tech purchase that I have ever bought. And why I say most controversial tech purchase, it's because of the fact that I actually downgraded from my M1 iPad Air to this iPad mini. I do have an Apple Smart Folio on it in this nice denim color, and I got the space gray colorway. But seeing how much I just didn't use my iPad Air and seeing that I was running out of storage on it when the 5 times a month I would use it, it was really getting annoying to me because anytime I wanted to use it, the experience just wasn't the greatest. I had no storage because Apple Intelligence was taking up so much and it was only 64 gigs. But I loved it in the past, and then it just stopped being useful. And that's one of the current limitations, I think, with iPad OS, but we're going to talk about that later. Right now, let's talk about why this is probably the best iPad I have ever used to date. So I had the M1 iPad Air since release, and I honestly never thought I would even downgrade to a mini. The only time I've ever considered a mini would be for my iPhone, but I want an iPhone mini Pro that has all the features and better battery life than the iPhone mini did. And I just could never justify that, so I've always gone with the Pro Max and just gotten the best of the best. Now, with that being said, I do also have an iPhone 16 Pro Max, and yes, it is the big phone. It's 6.9 inches, while the iPad mini is 8.3. And if we take off this case, and it's actually crazy to me, the size difference. The screen is just so much longer, and I can still hold the iPad mini in my palm of my hand, just like I can with my iPhone. I've never been worried. And this is what just makes me love it so more. It fits in the palm of my hand. Now, I did also have to buy an Apple Pencil Pro, which does have the squeeze and Find My and other features that I didn't have with the second generation pencil. But that's okay, and honestly, I don't mind buying a new Apple Pencil. My old one was years old that I was like, all right, I don't mind. And I was able to get it on sale, just like I got the iPad mini, so it was justifiable. But with my iPad Air, I wasn't doing any of the quote-unquote pro features that the M series chip was designed for. I wasn't editing video on it. I wasn't using it as my main computer like some people do. I was just rarely using it. I would use it for note-taking in school, but it was still just too big. I always got annoyed when I would have to carry it around and I would not bring it times just because I was like, oh, it's fine, I don't need it. I can get by with Apple Notes on my Mac and then drawing on my phone, and I was able to. But seeing just how compact this iPad mini is, this could honestly probably replace my iPhone. It does support calling as long as you have Wi-Fi or cellular. But personally, I wouldn't do that just yet. But most of the times I was using my iPad Air like a tablet. I was going on Instagram, on Twitter, on TikTok, creating ideas for YouTube and taking notes. There was really no, I paid all this money for it and I'm really not using it to the extent I thought I would. Back in the day, I definitely used it a lot more than I do now, but it was just sitting around and I was like, I can't really use this thing. I have no storage. And I've wanted a mini for a while. Let's finally do it. It was on sale. But now let's talk about where the iPad mini really shines. It's smaller, and I love this. I can, as I said before, I can use this with one hand. I have no issues, palming it, walking around with one hand, and then doing stuff with my other hand. Unlike my other iPad, where I would hold it and then clumsily juggle it. And if you take a look here, you can actually see how much bigger the iPad Air was to the iPad mini. And now the screen size was 10.9 inches to 8.3, so that's about almost 3 inch different. But I can also toss this in a small backpack and not have it be heavy. I can also just use it in bed one-handed to scroll on TikTok or Instagram or read a book. Whereas my other iPad, it just felt too clumsy and I would honestly just rather reach for my iPhone that was smaller. Now, when I take notes on this thing, it's actually, I think, even better because of the fact that it's smaller. I find myself just enjoying the experience more. Now, I take notes in the horizontal position, and I tend to just write all the way across. And with that new Apple Pencil Pro and the squeeze and the hover, those features have been really nice to have, and I'm all here for it. Now, M1 versus A17 Pro. They both support Apple Intelligence, and you're honestly really not missing out on any features. The only feature that I personally used on my iPad Air that I'm now missing out on is Stage Manager. And this is something that I kind of knew when I was getting the mini. I would miss this. I'm okay with missing it though. I've really not had been like, oh, I really need Stage Manager right now. I was just using Stage Manager because it made the iPad feel more of like a powerhouse and desktop machine than it actually was. And look, the A17 Pro is going to be supported for years. Apple still currently supports the 7th generation iPad, and I'm pretty sure that has like an A12 or A13 chip, and we're on iOS 18 going into iOS 19, so I'm not worried about losing support for this in a few years. And also, they just released this back in 2024, so Apple knows it's their newest iPad mini. And it also supports all of the Apple Intelligence features I can want. So I have Genmoji, mail summarization, notification summarization, priority notifications, and everything else, plus whatever Apple adds in the future to iPadOS and iOS with Apple Intelligence, which they have a very long way to go. But now let's talk about the trade-offs. This is smaller, and personally I love that, but it might not be perfect for you. You also can't dock it on a Magic Keyboard or any really accessories that use those connection pins on the back, because this doesn't have any. I would like to potentially see those in the future, although personally, as someone who has no accessories that connect with those pins, I'm okay with this without having the smart connector. But if you're not trying to turn your iPad into a laptop, this is honestly the perfect device. And I think Apple is right now stuck in this weird spot where they want you to use the iPad as your main computer. And you definitely can, but the average person honestly doesn't care about that. Just seeing how much better iPadOS 18 is optimized for this really makes me wonder and question what Apple is going to do with iPadOS 19, because they've got a long way to go to kind of revive the iPad lineup, because right now it has been stagnant for years. Now, let me know if you have considered an iPad mini or if you've had an iPad mini in the past, because the iPad Air M1 was great and I've had really no issues with it, besides running out of storage. But now that I have the iPad mini, this is truly going to be my iPad for the next 5 years, at least. And you can hold me to that, because I truly don't think Apple can do anything to this that I would want done differently. It's perfect for everything. It fits in the palm of my hand. I can take Apple Pencil notes. I can do everything straight from my iPad. And now I've started using my iPad as a tablet, not a tablet replacement like the M1 iPad Air was trying to be. So if you've been thinking about switching to the iPad mini, it's definitely worth it. I mean, you could get a great deal on it through trading in an older iPad and also buying from where it's on sale like I did. But hey, go for it. Now, let me know what iPad you're using and if you would ever downsize it, or as I said before, if you even would consider an iPad mini, with a comment down below. And while you're down there, if you want to hit like and subscribe, I'd appreciate that as well. And I want you to remember that today is a good day to make a great day, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.